Now let's look at some grammar from this lesson. Okay, we're going to start with Unit 12, and the first idea is comparisons. The same as, similar to, and different from. Okay, look at the pictures A, B, C, and D. A and B. A is the same as B. A and B are the same. We need to pronounce this with the article, the same. A and C. A is similar to C. A is similar to C. B is also similar to C. They are similar. A and D. A is different to or different from D. A and D are different. Also, C and D are different. Okay, you can do exercise 1 if you have the access to the exercises. Let's look at the comparative using ER and more. Okay, you can use adjectives to compare two people or two things. When the adjective has one syllable, the form of the adjective changes. The adjective is followed by the word than. Okay, let's look at the example. Germany is bigger than Austria. Big is the adjective with one syllable. Big. If the one-syllable adjective ends in one vowel and one consonant, you must double the consonant. So, in fact, big finishes with a consonant, and there is a vowel before the consonant. So you have a consonant-vowel-consonant combination. In that case, you must double. Also, fat, you double, fatter. Thin, you double, thinner. Hot, you double, hotter. Small, you double, smaller. All of these adjectives have one syllable. If the adjective ends in Y, you can change the Y to I and add ER. Many two-syllable adjectives are like this. Jane is prettier than Mary. Pretty finishes with a Y, so we substitute the Y with an I and we add the ER. Funny, substitute the Y and add ER. Happy, substitute the I and add ER. So prettier, funnier, happier. These are two-syllable words, two syllables, happy. You can use more in front of adjectives that have two or more syllables. Remember that two-syllable adjectives that end in Y use ER. More interesting. Portugal is more interesting than Spain. Interesting has three syllables, so we have interesting. In this case, we use more. We don't use the ER final. Famous, more famous. Important, more important. Interesting, more interesting. The comparative forms of good, bad, and far are irregular. French wine is better than California wine. So from good, we have better. Good, better. From bad, we have worse. And from far, we have farther or further. These are the irregular adjectives. There are no others you have to learn. You can do the exercises if you have the access. Simple past tense, the regular verbs. Okay, the pronunciation of words ending in ED depends on the final consonant sound. There are three ways to pronounce ED at the end of the word. Ed, t, or d. Those are three different sounds, okay? Let me just uh, emphasize this point. ED are letters. These letters go on the end of a regular verb. So start, I start the lesson. Started is the past tense. We just add ed to the end of the word. Those are the letters, but the sound is different. There are 3 different sounds of the letters representing E and D. So those sounds are ed, t, and t, and d, d. Okay, let's look at those a little bit closer. We have the last consonant with d. Okay, so the last consonant is D. You see need, want. The last consonant is a T, or the last consonant is a D. Okay, let me just last consonant T or last consonant D. Okay, so this happens with T ending verbs and D ending verbs. Wanted finishes with T, needed finishes with need, finishes with D. So the T is the unvoiced sound. It does not use the vocal cords. So we have P, the last consonant is P, it's unvoiced. What does that mean? Unvoiced means that you don't use vocal cords. T, t is just a sound in the front of your mouth. Also, P, P, P is a sound in the front of your mouth. In this case, the ED letters represent the sound T. So, help becomes helped. Look becomes looked. Sniff becomes sniffed. Laugh becomes laughed, because the last sound is f. This is not voiced. Wash becomes washed. The last sound is sh. There is no voice. Watch becomes watched. The last sound is ch. That's not a voiced sound. Kiss, kissed. The last consonant s. Danced, danced. The last consonant is the same sound, s. Danced. Fixed. The last consonant X, it's a sound of s. Fixed. So, unvoiced sounds like s, ch, sh, f, finish with t on the ED sound. Instead, the D is a voiced sound. It actually uses the vocal cords. You can touch your throat and feel duh. There is a vibration. So call that finishes with which is a voice sound, uses d. Called, called. Clean, cleaned. The last consonant is n. It's voiced. Offered is offered. Offer. The last consonant is voiced. Damage, damaged. The last consonant is j, j. It's voiced. Love, loved. The last consonant is v. That's voiced. Used, used. Sorry, use, used. The last consonant is z. That's the sound of the S that is voiced. Z. Amazed. The last sound is z. Amaze, amazed. Rub, rubbed. The last sound is b, rubbed. Okay, this is very difficult because this is one syllable. We do not add an extra syllable for the ed. Rubbed. There's just a cluster of consonants, B and D, rubbed. Claim, claimed, is voiced. Okay, let's look at words that end in a vowel sound. For this, you just add ed. Follow, followed. Okay, so it's the D sound. Enjoy, enjoyed. The D sound. Play, played. So you have the D sound here. Try, tried. You have the D sound. Continue, continued. So you have all of the vowel sounds that finish with this D. Okay? Let's look at the spelling. We saw in the past tense we have, the addition of the doubled letter at the end. This is very, very similar with the spelling of the ed words. The end of a verb that ends with a consonant and the e, we just add d. So smile, smiled. Smile is a voiced sound, so we have smiled. Erase, erased. Erase, that's not voiced, so we have erased. Just add the D. One vowel and one consonant, double the consonant. Okay, this is the same as we saw with the adjective stop, stopped. Okay, this is a cluster. It's just stopped. One syllable. P is not voiced, so we add t, stopped. Rub, b is voiced, rubbed. We double those end consonants, rubbed. Two vowels plus one consonant, add the ed, do not double. Rain, rained. So there's no doubling. The N is N, it's voiced, so we have rained. Need, need finishes with D. It's got two vowels before, so there's no doubling. This is pronounced needed because we must add another syllable to this word. Need, needed. Okay, with two consonants, you just add the ed. You do not double. Okay, so we have count, counted, help, helped. Okay, there are two consonants, so you don't double. Count finishes with T, so you're adding the syllable D, added, count, counted, help, helped. P is voiced, so we have helped. Sorry, that's unvoiced, P, so it's unvoiced. D, T, helped. Duh. Consonant plus Y, you change the Y to I and add ed, just like the adjective. Study, studied. Carried, carried. Okay, if you have the vowel with the Y, you just add ed, you don't change Y to I. Play, played. Enjoy, enjoyed. Count, counted. Okay, those are finishing with a Y, but there is a vowel before the Y. Okay, you can do the exercises. When in time clauses. Okay, when can introduce a time clause. When we use the subject and the verb, we use a time clause. Steve lived in Rome when he was a little boy. When responds to the time. I could say Steve lived in Rome in 2020. Okay, this is the time, so we are using a time clause with the past tense. Okay, notice that the noun Steve comes before the pronoun he. Here I introduce the subject. Here I substitute with the pronoun, the personal pronoun, subject pronoun. Okay? More irregular verbs: bring, brought, drive, drove, run, ran, buy, bought, read, read, teach, taught, catch, caught, ride, rode, think, thought, drink, drank. Okay, you can do the exercises if you have those access. Passive. In a passive sentence, the object of the active verb becomes the subject of the passive verb. French and English are spoken in English. English and French, that is the subject of the passive verb. Okay, so the action of the verb we do not know. We do not know who does the action. So I'm using the object of an active verb. Spoke, I speak English. English is spoken. Tom helped Mary. Mary is the subject of the verb. Tom is the object. So we can say Tom is helped by Mary. Now Tom becomes the subject of the passive verb. Tom is the subject. Notice that the subject of the active verb is followed by in a passive sentences. These two sentences have the same meaning. The participle, or the third form of the verb, is used with the auxiliary to be. So helped is the third form, spoken is the third form, are is the auxiliary, to be is the auxiliary to be. Okay, French and English are spoken. Subject, auxiliary to be, and the participle.